Appearing. They're ready to run the second. Back here at Ascot now, and they're off and racing. The newcomer Sauvegarde down force, and also out very quickly Victory Shot contesting the lead. Sauvegarde will cross though, and Obstination's going to push up and lob just in behind those. Being followed by on the outside the Hot Stepper. On its inside Roberta, then Cheliator, and the stablemate Ginger had settled down near enough to last at the 600. Sauvegarde showed the way, slowed them down immediately though, and arched the neck up. 3/4 of a length in front. Second down force, a length and a half away is Obstination, being covered then by Victory Shot, who's travelling fourth. Back behind them on the rails Roberta. From last there goes Ginger, now being put into the race from the Hot Stepper, and last of all is Cheliator, homeward bound inside the 300. Ginger making a lightning move, goes up to Downforce. Downforce Ginger, a run comes for Obstination over near the inside at the 100 mark. It's Ginger, Downforce climbing back though. Downforce and Ginger. Downforce gets the head in front. Downforce too strong. Downforce, after getting headed by Ginger, was able to rally and just win with Obstination third. Behind them Victory Shot, Roberta close up behind them with Cheliator. Then Sauvegarde and the Hot Stepper faded out to run near enough to last. Silence Edition's little half-brother. Downforce, the 3-year-old, has won his first race. He did it by breezing. Ginger making the move around them there, a sweeping run from last to hit the front. And the run told late. Downforce first up, really rallied. He found tenacity in the last 50, reclaiming the lead, beating Ginger, Obstination, and back there fourth is Victory Shot at its first outing. Number 3, Downforce for Neville and Carolyn Parnham, Ron Sayers, Bernie Hamill, Bob Pearson, by Snippet Son from Fiorentina, trained by Neville Parnham and ridden by Stephen Parnham. Wins on return this afternoon over number 1 Ginger. The Your Song Noosadua gelding, trained by Dan Morton, ridden by Jade McNaught. 5 Obstination third by Universal Ruler from Stubborn. A half, of course, to the Derby winner Gatting and Darren McAuliffe, William Pike combined. Margins, a neck and a half length, a neck in fact, and a long neck. And 59.12 there is the time that they'd posted for the 1,000 metres. So Downforce just a little too good for Ginger at the end of the day, with Obstination in third place. Race number 3 will be the running of the Amelia Park Handicap over 1,000 metres, 24 minutes after 1 o'clock post time. Number 4 Grand Design is the scratching there. We're about to take you back into the yard very shortly. That will please Neville Parnham no end here. He's got a lovely family. Does the winner Downforce, a half to a very, very good mare. A mare in Silence Edition, a Group 1 winner, of course, that was bred in WA. She made a mark in Victoria. Downforce clearly has got scope as well for a bright future on the track. And his trainer, Neville Parnham, is currently down there with Wes Cameron.
Thank you, Darren. And I don't know whether Neville shows a great deal of emotion with victories like this, but gee, Neville, that was a special win.
Yeah, it was a pretty good win. You know, the horse outside it, which I thought was, you know, probably a fitter horse. Django got to his head in front of us, and you know, he fought really strong, and yeah, he's pretty tough in the end.
Yeah, it was a hard-fought victory. You could see the Downforce. Stevie decided to sprint once they straightened up, had the leaders measure then, and he just knuckled down. He just kept fighting.
Yeah, look, he's a fairly good horse. You know, he was a bit immature as a young horse, and you know, we tried him at a couple of decent races, but originally I was sort of going to wait a little bit longer with him. I was going to trial him again, but I just thought this was a nice race for him to resume in and use it as a bit of a trial, because quite frankly, I reckon he's only about 85% fit, and which is, you know, sort of all goes well to his future starts.
Yeah, it certainly does. Distance-wise, stepping him up next time out, or do you think if there's races around, like there normally is 1,000-metre races, you'll keep him at this level?
No, actually, I think he'll run 1,400 on his ear, but he just been as fit as he is. I think the short course was all he needed today.
Yeah, brilliant victory there. And Stephen's right in KC, the Playing God filly. We've just touched on her. You must be so happy with the way that she's come back following a short break.
Yeah, she only had a brief little let up, but she's a really nice horse, a horse with a lot of promise. And, you know, I think if, you know, she can get the right run and the right track into the race, she'll be finishing off pretty strongly. And you know, I think she's right in the mix.
You're having a bit of success with the Playing God stock?
Yeah, you know, Platoon's been really good, and a couple of others that I've had have been winning. So, you know, I think there's the best is yet to come from Playing God's horses. They'll get better as they get older, even though they've won races as young horses. I think they're just going to be better horses as 4- and 5-year-olds.
Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you. Good.
Neville Parnham, and a magnificent win down forces. Michael Heaton is about to catch up with Stephen Parnham.
Thank you, Wes. Yes, got Steve Parnham here. Steve, we saw how well he went last preparation as a 2-year-old. His 2 trials were outstanding. How nice was that to see him break his maiden status like that?
Yeah, it was really good to see the determination in him to keep going to the line today. I thought that's a good sign of a horse. The second horse sort of come up to him midway up the straight, but I knew I sort of had a little bit left in reserve there, and even though he wasn't quite knuckled down for the job today, he still got it done, and it's good looking forward.
Yes, Neville Parnham said before the race that he was a little bit worried about his fitness, but that didn't seem to be an issue towards the end. Were you confident he'd be able to get the job done still?
Oh, I had confidence in the horse's ability, and he wouldn't bring him to the races if he wasn't fit enough to race still, but there's improvement in there, and just like the way that when the challenge come to him, he was able to fight it off and get the job done.
Fantastic book of rides for you today. Maserati in the next, looks really well placed. Can you be the man to break his long winning drought?
I sure hope so. He's been very consistent lately in a lot higher grade races than he meets today, and I think he deserves a win. He's been close in, like I said, against better opposition, so it looks a good race for him, and hopefully he can get it.
And what about KC in the feature events? It's just come back to racing beautifully at the moment.
Yeah, she's an exciting filly, and by Playing God, her run the other day was outstanding against the bias and the slow tempo. So she's going up to 1400, which is going to be in her favour, and drawing a good gate. So hopefully that she can reproduce what we know she can, and I think she'll be hard to beat.
Good luck for the rest of the day.